Good morning, everyone. My name is and this is Ifako Radio. Um, Welcome to this paper review this morning, 10th September 2025. I'm here with Olani David. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We'll be reviewing the newspaper headlines and news this morning, and I will be starting from you start so that. Okay, yes, I'm on the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper, I have that the headline, Doctor to decide on nationwide strike today. Doctors to decide on nationwide strike today, says the Punch newspaper. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors will today, Wednesday, hold this National Executive Council meeting to determine its next line of action on a pending ultimatum to the federal government. The association had earlier issued a 10 days ultimatum to relevant government agencies, warning that members will embark on a nationwide strike if their demands were not met. The threat comes amid mounting pressure on Nigeria's fragile public health system, which is already grappling with a shortage of doctors, poor infrastructure, and overcrowded hospital. Resident doctors will constitute the majority of the medical workforce in teaching and specialist hospitals have repeatedly gone on strike in recent years over unpaid wages, poor welfare, and inadequate working conditions. Victor, the strike is looming by the enemy, Nigeria Medical Association, and we know that. We know the key role that the medical sectors are holding in Nigeria, and of not only Nigeria, all over the world. I think currently in Nigeria, I don't think that we need strike. I would just plead with the executive of the enemy to go on dialogue with the federal government and its representative of the federal government, who is the Honorable Minister of Health, so that they can discuss all the issues that are meant to be amended. So, because we know that if they should go on strike at this point in time, a lot of people, most especially the common man across the federal government hospitals, the state general hospitals, and the specialists will suffer, and they're going to pay heavily for it. I don't think. What is your take, Victor, on this? This kind of thing saddens me a lot because the health sector is really fragile, as we speak, and even people, doctors who are here in Nigeria, who are even working in private hospitals, even the ones who have their own hospital, are still looking for greener pastures outside the country. You understand, and that is why it's saddens me when this kind of thing happens, because these people, in my opinion, are already underpaid, undervalued, and but I think that the president should actually come in to intervene. You understand? Come in to intervene and come in to actually show these people that he has the listening here. You know, he has been doing it. He has been doing it. We are seeing it. Recent education reform kind of things. People have been clamoring for curriculum change for years. Which by the way came out just last week. Yes. So which was excellent. Yes, and I think the doctors are just so they know that they already know that this president listens, and I think that is why they are also calling out for more for better treatment.
Better pay, better welfare regime. So, and of course, training and other things.
And I will also plead the president to come into this. And that is what will take me into this news on the nation this morning. Tinubu reaffirms commitment to overhauling health sector. And that is what we are talking about. So, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has stated his administration's determination to transform Nigeria's health sector. He said no Nigeria should die because of power failure in those facilities. The president spoke yesterday at the National Stakeholders Dialogue on Power in the Health Sector at the Ladikwali Hall in Continental Hotel at Abuja. He said the federal government was prioritizing innovative and sustainable solutions to ensure an uninterrupted electricity supply in medical institutions. You know, even though it was represented by George Akume, the Secretary to
the SFG, Secretary to the Federal Government,
the Government of Federation. I think this is actually a huge step in the right direction. You know why I'm saying that? Because it is very, very obvious that our health sector needs to go on. And that is why we are still talking about the doctor strike and everything. And that this is the right time this kind of news can come. Because even if doctors who are trying to strike see this kind of news this morning, we'll be really happy that, okay, yes, I think we are getting the attention of the president on our matters and everything. And do you know that it is not only the pay of the doctors that is making them say they want to go on strike? It is most times also because of the situation and the dilapidated facilities. You understand? The dilapidated facility, they don't have. Imagine someone operating on a patient. Imagine a doctor operating on a patient, and there was power failure. And that is one of the things that the president has said and promised that it will address.
Yes, Victor, if I may get you right, I think the health sector in Nigeria needs total overhauling. And I believe that the federal government of today has a listening here, because if we do not accept the fact that this health sector needs general overhauling, and not only for the medical doctor, for the nurses, for the health assistants, all across the medical sector, I think that we need to revisit, the federal government need to revisit them. And of course, and not only that, also the premises, the property itself. If you look at some of the general hospitals that we have, we know that there is need for total renovation. And not only renovation, we also need equipment, modernized equipment that will ease their job, most especially in the area of operation, maternity, maternal care and child care unit, and of course, and every other sector. Even the dentists are also there, the phytotherapists are also involved. So, sectors. Yeah.
So, that dental clinic at Marina.
Yes.
Somebody was, a colleague of mine was trying to remove it. And they took that. They had to tell him to come back. The boy was in excruciating pain for days.
Wow.
For days.
I can imagine.
For days. You know, when something is almost done and they have to tell you to come back, you have to take leave for like some days to actually. But when he came back, it was removed and all this. But imagine that kind of thing happening. You understand? And that is why this is a last step in a good direction. If the federal government can.
So the SGM, which is a government representative, and the Honorable Minister of Health should listen to the voice of the people in the health sector. So I think the health sector need total overhauling. They need more facility, need more welfare packages. And if you look at it, because if you look at it generally, Nigeria will produce a lot of medical personnel, not only medical doctors, even the nurses, and just like I said, the entire health sector. So if you look at it, we some time ago, I think we were discussing on this Ifako radio about this Japa syndrome. And because we know that the money that we use to train our medical personnel can never be compared with that of international countries, that the Western world. But if we need to curtail Japa syndrome in the health sector, we need to also provide every facility that is needed that will ease their job, or that will ease the health job, make it more easier for them to operate and to work on. And not only that, also training is also very essential. We need to continue training them, sending them on training both at local and international training. And this will also make them to belong, to see themselves, okay, yes, I'm in a country that also appreciate health officers, health officials. So the medical doctors, we are just pleading with you. At this time, Nigeria, we don't need to strike. So just let us have a roundtable discussion with the government official around government representative, so that with time, I believe the government will listen and will add into your need and to your clarion call. And of course, Mr. President, you've been doing it, and we know that you have a listing here. So please, we don't need another strike in the medical sector. So we can assure you, Nigeria and Lagos and Ifako, that as the news continue unfolding, we are going to keep you updated. Thank you. And that will take me to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The Vanguard newspaper is a very sad one. World leaders, envoys condemn Israel attack on Qatar. Oh, wow. Not again.
On my way to the studio this morning, I read the news. That's the first time I've heard that kind of thing. That
because Qatar has been a mediator into this crisis that has been happening between the Hamas and the Israel. So I don't know why the Israel need to attack Qatar. But let us read the story. And so let us read the news. So Lagos, okay, world leaders from across the Middle East, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, UK, France, and other international political analysts from Nigeria yesterday condemned Israel attack on Doha, the Qatari capital, which targeted Hamas senior leaders, saying the action violated international law. Yesterday attack was the first by Israel in Qatar, a key mediator in ceasefire talk between Israel and Hamas, and the home to the region's largest United States military base, Adair Air Base. The strike came as the Hamas negotiating team were meeting to consider the latest ceasefire proposal put forth by the United States. I think this is a very sad one.
If I heard very well, Qatar is the home to the biggest United States.
Yes, military base. Wow.
Which is I never hear from.
So I think there may be, I'm not speaking for Israel, but it's a very, very sad one. I don't even know what to say to that, but I think it does not want it.
It's a very technical one, and honestly, there's no excuse for this. Honestly, in my opinion, there's no excuse for this one. For them to have violated
international law,
and this
should be brought to book.
This country is a country that has not picked the side. In fact, according to reports, they have been mediating.
They've been mediating to ceasefire,
trying to end this war, this conflict. You understand? They have been trying to end the war. They have been trying to end. So
it's not a conflict; it's a war, Victor. It's a war. So you can see what Israel have done to the Palestinians, saying done to Hamas. And of course, if we look at Qatar so far have been building global relationship, and of course, and they are building one of the biggest tourist attraction center compared to that of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And this Qatar also gave their own land to the United States Army, and that is where in the Middle East, that is where they have the biggest military base of the United States. Mm-hmm. And of course, and these people have been mediating, the Qatari, they've been mediating between Israel, United Nations, and of course the Hamas itself. And I don't think that it now worth it for Israel to now attack the capital city of Qatar, which is the economy hub of Qatar. I think it's not called for, it's unconstitutional, and we know that it's against the international law. So I believe that the relevant international agencies should look and should investigate right, and if Israel is being found wanting, then they should be sanctioned.
Another thing I would say is that you know that this will actually scare tourists. You know, Qatar is a very, very
tourist destination.
Tourist destination all over the world. All over the world. And this will actually start scaring tourists that if where all of us actually go to unwind, where all of us see as a very, very good place to unwind.
Because I've been to Qatar, and if you look at the airport is one of at least number 7 and one of the first 7 business airports in the world after Dubai. So, and after Dubai, the UK, the US, JFK, and of course the JFK, UK, that's Heathrow. Then you talk about the Paris, the one at Paris. Then you talk about Dubai. Then you talk about there's another country. So those are the business airports. I've been there before, and I see how busy that airport is, and I see how tourists also are chopping in. I've seen people moving from Dubai by road to Qatar because they share the border just to see the other tourist attraction that are in Qatar. And I've seen people also vice versa from Qatar moving to Dubai. So I think Israel overshoot. Israel have step.
It was reported that it is a war criminal that was killed, but it does not matter if it's a war criminal. The person is already in the jurisdiction where you are not meant to attack, and you should throw that kind of
international law should take its course.
So I'm on Nigerian Tribune this morning. You can't resume Senate now. National Assembly tells Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The National Assembly has informed suspended Senator representing Kogi Central Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan that she cannot resume her legislative duties yet after serving a 6-month suspension. According to National Assembly bureaucracy, Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension remains in effect as the case is still before the Court of Appeal. So, reports came earlier that the Federal High Court in Abuja ruled in favor of the Senate. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, dissatisfied with this judgment, approached the appellate court seeking redress. So I think in the beginning of this drama, she was given 2 options: go on 6-month suspension,
which she did,
or apologize.
And she refused.
She went for going.
She went to the court of law.
She went for going for the 6-month
and also went to the court.
I went to the court to fight the suspension. But now that she's done with her suspension, I think the Senate colleagues are still
not happy.
They are still waiting for that apology.
So I think, but the truth of the matter is that the National Assembly, which is the Senate with the highest lawmaking office in Nigeria, should also try and seize their sword on both Senator Akpoti Natasha, because we know that she's also elected by the Kogi Central to represent them in the senatorial district of that particular state. Because for the past 6 months, they do not have voice in the National Assembly, and of course, there must have been some negative effect, like a constituency, I don't know, maybe they call it constituency project or senatorial project that ought to have come to that community. So we deprive them over time. So just for the sake of the people that you represent, so I would like to beseech or plead with the National Assembly to tamper justice with mercy at this point in time. And for Senator Natasha too, we are also talking to you from Ifako Radio for you to do the necessary thing that you need to do in time of whatever things that the state to you to do, like withdraw your case from the court, and of course then lobby. Lobby is allowed in political terrain. You need to also go and lobby the people people that matters in the National Assembly. So by the time you do that, then follow the rules that is, because your people need you more in your senatorial district. So whatever thing that will make you to remain a voice and to add to make you to remain their voice, so you should be able to do it. So just like in my language, I've seen a lot of people then they tell me that. Now I remember I've represented people even though I had a grassroots before. I remember sometime I go to the executive, I'm frustrated that I need this project in my world. And by the time I stand up for frustration and I move out, nobody knows what I've done. But all I know is that I've been able to influence one project or the other in my world. So, and it does not take anything out of me. So, Senator Natasha, I take a cue from that. That's what a lot of people are doing to influence projects to their senatorial district. So, both parties will appeal to you to see yourself that for all members, all the senators in the Senate, we appeal to you to tamper justice with mercy.
Another thing I would say to add to what you just said, sir, is that in this kind of situation, everybody always looks for a winner. And honestly, it is not compulsion for there to be a winner. You understand? And my word this morning is for Senator Natasha Kuti. As you said, sir, that the Senate should also know that she is representing some people and they will be deprived of quality representation. They have been deprived of that for over 6 months now. And I also appeal to Senator Natasha that she should also think about our own people. She should think about the people she represents. She should think about the people that voted her. She should think about the people that gave her the mandate to represent her in the Senate. These people have not seen in any representation at all in the past 6 months. While there are people from other 2 senatorial districts in Kogi are getting representation and getting community project done, getting senatorial project done.
What is being had at every point in time.
Yes, they are always, their voice is heard because their representatives are still in the house. So I also appeal to Senator Natasha Akoti to also even if it is to play the bigger person there and apologize and do what she has to do to get back into the good books into the good books of our colleagues in the Senate.
And to the Senate President, you are the father of all. So Papa justice with mercy and let there be peace in the Senate, because that is the hope of the common man. Because you all are representing Nigeria at the Senate. So we pray for peace, and I can assure you, our listeners, as soon as everything keep unfolding in the Senate and on our press newspaper review, Ifako Radio will keep you informed. Now I'm back to the Punch newspaper with the headline 2027. This time is politics. 2027 presidency. Jonathan splits South PDP. Wow, yeah, we are again. 2027 fast approaching.
Jonathan made South PDP.
Yes, split South PDP. The reported 2027 ambition of former President Goodluck Jonathan has split the PDP in the South into 2 camps, with the stakeholder holding divergent position on the issue. While some party members believe Jonathan should not contest again, President Bola Tinubu, various political pressure groups joined support for the ex-leader. Aides to the former president have been quoted in the media that their principal was consulting on whether to throw his hat in the ring in 2027. He was said to have been asked to contest the presidency by the PDP, the New Nigerian People Party, and African Democratic Congress. The Punch could not immediately confirm these. So, the politics that 2027 is around the corner, and 2026 is a political year. So, and I know that everybody will be jostling from one political party to another. And the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, is causing crisis. He has split, according to punch has split the PDP, and not only the PDP, even the ADC and what's the name of this party in Kano State? NMPP. So and now, so the game is on. So and everybody. So now I'm seeing another coalition. Not only ADC now. ADC has been split. NMPP has been split. And of course, PDP has been split. Is that not, Victor? Is that not another coalition? Coalition for 2027?
Well, what I would say is that the PDP is in shambles right now. And why do I say that? I would say that because even the PDP governors, I'm sure, will be divided on this. You understand? I'm very, very sure they'll be divided on this. Why? Because the northern PDP governors that I know will want to support Jonathan. Why? Because he is constitutionally allowed to only spend 4 years in office. And they would think that, okay, if a PDP person is in power as at that time, they can also get back the power to the north. You understand? And I'm sure that the PDP governors backing or trying to support Seyi Makinde right now will want to support Jonathan. If Jonathan can just mention that, yes, I want to show my attitude in 2027, because everybody will see it as an easy pathway for PDP getting back into power and also retaining power in 2027 and power going back to the north. People in the ADC, the former Waziri Adamawa Atiku would also want to get the tickets, while people like Peter Obi also still want to get.
I think we look at all the political parties, from the ruling party, which is the APC, to the PDP, to the NMPP, and the newly coalition party, ADC. And if you look at all these parties, they think that they have something in common. And that thing in common is that though it's not constitutional, but I think it's just a majority that, okay, power should move from one particular region to another. So if you look at what they're doing at the moment, every one of them is going to the direction their presidential candidate should come from the south.
As the ADC made their stand on where the should go,
the ADC are pointing towards the south. Because if you look at what ADC is doing, they are trying to woo Peter Obi. Even though Peter Obi, we don't even know where he belongs at the moment. But I think that was a story for another day.
Well, you know what I think. I would advise the opposition party that only a divided opposition can sit.
A divided house cannot stand.
Yes. So, only a united opposition. Only a united opposition cannot sit this
sitting president.
And APC has been united. The kind of unity in the APC now is even the strongest I've seen.
And okay, if we go back to the story of the APC, we know that in 1999 they were 80.
Yeah.
Then along the line they metamorphosed into AC. Through some coalition, along the line from AC then to ACM. So there was a more merger with the NPDP to form the ACM. Then they metamorphosed from ACM to the present APC, which has both the NPDP, the ACM, the CPC, the AMPP. So they are even new ABGA, the ABGA. Yeah. So they all came together and formed a coalition that now forced the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan out of power there. And that was what that brought President Muhammadu Buhari into power. And from there, and you can see that trend has been on. And when Muhammadu Buhari finished, we also took over then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because they've been strong together, they've been united. So just like you write this thing, It's only a united opposition party
that
can unseat the sitting government. Because if you look at that time that President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, we have a lot of insecurity issues in the northeast and in the northeast at that time, because I can remember that even in the midst of fire and issues in the security issues in the north, I remember that even President Bola Ahmed today, and at that time he was just a party leader, national party leader at that time, the party chairman, then Excellency B.C. Akode. We can see what's the name of the former governor of Rabga, of this particular state, Rabga. What's his name now? I forgot his name. Okorocha. Then other leaders in the even Buhari and his people, they all went to those difficult, tough area, and that, I think, that was where they were able to get the Nigerian peace support.
Another thing I would say,
and that is really speak to for them. But if you now look at what is happening in the opposition, the PDP is divided. ADC is still unsettled because we don't even know their direction. Therefore, me, in physics, we call something that magnitude. They don't even have magnitude. They don't have that direction. So they are just there. So on the social media, on the pages of the newspaper. So I think if opposition, because to me, I believe in opposition, because opposition made the sitting party, the ruling party, to be on their foot, to deliver the democratic what do we call it now, dividend to its or our citizen. So we need a healthy opposition party to be able to do that, because the opposition party stand to be like a pressure group. They are like a pressure group or a pressure party, quote unquote. So that I think if they really want to be meaningful to Nigeria and make positive impact, they need to unite as well.
Well, another thing I would say before we move on from this story is that when the APC wanted to take power from the PDP in 2015, there was only one opposition party, which made everything easier for them to achieve. Now APC, now we have PDP, we have ADC, and I'm sure that if somebody does not get PDP tickets, another party might split off from there. So like that would bring me up to, if the opposition is not united, it will be very difficult to achieve what they want to achieve.
So don't forget that even the INEC recently just told us that they have over 100
political parties,
presumed political parties that are about to register, that have written to INEC that they want to register. And I don't think we need more political party at this point.
That means if 100 people know, that means you have like a banner
as a state,
as a city. No, our banner paper should look like a banner. So let's move on from there. I'm still on Tribune. I'll go. Obasanjo renews call for single African currency, laments Naira's collapse. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has renewed his long-standing call for the adoption of a single African currency, warning that the continent's over-reliance on the US dollar continues to weaken local economies and undermine Africa's development agenda. Speaking during a chat moderated by CNBC Africa, Obasanjo decried the Naira free fall, stressing that Nigeria's currency today is not worth the paper it is printed on. He noted that in 1979, when he ventured into farming after leaving office, that the Ministry of State said one Naira exchange was for $1.80, almost $2. Today, he said $1 is equivalent to 1,600. I would say that I think the former president is not even correct, because the dollar was still changing for about 1,500 or something yesterday. So, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I think the former president Olusegun Obasanjo need to know what is really happening to the economy. Because currently, if we look at what CBN just released 3 days ago, we can see that the exchange rate is to an era of gain some little percentage over the US dollars. So, and I believe that having a single currency has been there all this while, even during the military days. And even when he was in government, single currency, and I learned that even the military head of state of is it Niger now? Or is it Niger? Tawe, Burkina Faso is also pushing for that. So I think it's a good thing, but we need to wait let us see the negative and the positive impact of that. So you need to give us the real analysis, not just coming on the pages of the dailies and or social media and just say whatever thing that you feel like. He's a respected man. He has governed this country 3 times, even as a military, and of course 2 times democratic elected president. So he should be able to give us the real analysis, not just coming out on the papers and just saying Jack Robinson. So I think wherever yes, he has the right to criticize the government of the day, but we need a fact and figure, perfect right, fact and figure, which is highly needed. And with that, then we now know that, okay, the former president is serious with its submission. So, Victor, we're moving to the Daily Post, still political. Northern activists, youth leaders, other way in on Tinubu growing influence in region. Wow. As the country looks ahead of the 2027 general election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu chances in northern Nigeria remain a subject of debate. The debate over whether northern Nigeria is united or divided on his candidacy continues to generate reaction. While some argue that the region will rally behind him, others insist the north is far from united and crack in northern political unity have widened under Tinubu. Political analyst and public commentator Mahdi Shehu, in an exclusive interview with Daily Post on Monday, insists that the north has long been divided. But Tinubu emerges as tipping those faulty lines. Northern Nigeria has been divided before Tinubu, but more divided with Tinubu, he said. So, yes, the gladiators, the political gladiators in the north are coming forward, most especially in the youth wing, that are saying that, okay, that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have caused more division than ever before in the political setting in the northern region. Either true or false. So we know that when politics is approaching, that is the election is approaching. So there's what we call divide and rule. So divide and rule will come on pages, and of course, and we know there's politics and there's politics and there's politics. And I know that politics are now coming forward and taking its course. So it now left for the northern leader, the political gladiators in the north, to sit right and know that and think about what are the benefits that came to us as during the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the leader, the president of this country. So there should be good analysis, not just coming, just like we said to President Olusegun Obasanjo, former president, but you also talk to the political gladiators. So can they check what is happening? So look at the health sector, look at the education sector, look at the infrastructure sector, like the road there. So, and look at every other sector. So before you now start criticizing the government of the day. And not only that, you need also, there's a need for them to have a flashback to revisit some of the economic policies in time past, how favorable they are to that region and compared to what is at the moment. So we know that. So for us at the Ifako Radio, we don't want any part of the region to heat up the politics. At this point in time, we know that very soon. By political party will be bringing out their calendar. So for either party primaries, for candidacy, for this and that, from INEC. But before then, no Nigerian blood was scheduled on the floor or on the road of Nigeria. So because if we keep doing this, then we will be progressing. Will be like one step forward and 10 step backward. So we don't need that in Nigeria of today. So all political parties from us in the Ifako radio, both the ruling and the opposition party, should criticize concretely, should criticize judiciously, should criticize with fact and figure. That is my submission on this.
The question I would even want to ask the northern leader is very simple. What is the question? The question is what has been happening for years that has been uniting the country. It is now that the country is going into the right step in the economic policy that is not divided. Because the question that brings me to the politics of personal interest. Is it that the economic policies have now started affecting some northern leaders? Is it that where the northern leaders see money, the other leaders see it? Is that why? Is that what is dividing the north? Because I don't understand why we have been complaining since all these days that okay, we need tough economic policies for Nigeria to go back on track. We need someone to come in to make tough decisions for us to go back. So why is it now that these decisions are being taken and people are already feeling good good tidings? The people are already feeling the effect of the economic policies in a good way. Why is it now that time that the North are now calling for this thing, saying that they are divided or not? But that's a that should have been a rhetorical question because I don't nobody knows. That's not his question.
Yes,
So
nobody. So
moving on to
that.
now, I'll be reading now from Nairametrics this morning. UK commits 19 million pounds to climate resilient health and education facilities in Nigeria. The United Kingdom government has announced a 90 million pound funding commitment to develop climate resilient health and education facilities in Nigeria, aimed at protecting essential services from the growing impact of climate change. According to the statement by UNICEF on Tuesday, 84 climate resilient schools and healthcare facilities were jointly inaugurated under the Climate Resilient Infrastructure for Basic Service (CRIBS) initiative by the UK government and UNICEF. The federal government of Nigeria, the Ministry of Health, and the government of Kano and State and Igawa. CRIBS is a pioneering and innovative program that is piloting a new approach to protect essential health and education services from the growing threats of climate change. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday, and the person said rain falling every day like this in September is truly effect of climate change. And I would also say that this money being disbursed should be used judiciously. You know, in this kind of era where we homes are displaced. You understand, homes are displaced, especially in vulnerable areas in the northern Nigeria. Homes are displaced. The rain might just flood areas and all. And I hope this money will be used in
Judiciously.
you know, and even some schools we just because of the heavy weather, some schools might just collapse or be flooded. So this money should be used judiciously and for its particular purpose
That is made for. So not that it should be siphoned, it should be used judiciously as advocated too. Now, my last news on the Punch newspaper for today is coming from the Punch, with the title Osun kingmakers reject move to dethrone jailed monarch. The serious. Tension erupted on Tuesday during a meeting of Prince in Ikpetumodu, Osun State, after a call was made for Governor Ademola Adeleke to declare the stool of Akpetumodu vacant following the conviction of Oba Joseph Oloyede in the United States. Oba Oloyede, the 27 Akpetumodu, was recently sentenced to more than 4 years imprisonment in the US for COVID-19 fraud. He was also ordered to forfeit assets and pay over 4.4 million US dollars in restitution. The meeting held within the palace premises and presided over by the Asado of Ikpetumodu, Chief Sunday Adedeji, stated around 4 p.m. and progressed without incident until the prince demanded that Adedeji, as the most senior surviving kingmaker, write a formal letter to Governor Adeleke declaring the throne vacant. Wow, this is interesting because we all know that the king, the present king of Ikpetumodu, is in jail for COVID-19 fraud to the tune of 4.4 million US dollars, and which he has been asked to forfeit a lot of properties in the US, and of course to pay that sum of 4.4 million as a restitution. So I think I don't know what is happening to our leader, because the kingship in Nigeria, in Africa, and even in the Western world is an exalted seat that someone that will sit on that such a throne and such an office needs to stay away from crime. But this time around, I don't even know what to say in that area. But I believe that the governor and the kingmaker should be able to resolve the issue there, because the question is now that would Ikpetumodu, would they be there without the king? What I would there be an acting king, or what do they call this person? The right Otun, or Otun stepping. What if, or there's another ruling family? I believe for this to have come up, there must be another ruling family that also are in that seat at this point in time. So, and again, what does the law say? So we need to know what the law says in that state, in Osun State, and what is the bylaw that guide the kingship stool in Ikpetumodu in Osun State. So we need to know, that Nigeria need to know, and Nigeria are curious to know. And Ifako Radio is at it, and I'm sure we are going to monitor what, and give it and inform Nigeria what they give Nigeria the update of what is happening in Ikpetumodu.
What I would say is that when a king is incapacitated, even when they cannot talk, when they cannot speak, when they cannot even see, that king is not replaced until he's dead. So while ambitious people in the Ikpetumodu trying to twist tradition, why are they trying to do? Because this man is jailed outside the country
for 4 years.
For 4 years. There are some kings that have not even been ruling because they are incapacitated for 10 years. Why are they not calling for those kings to be removed? Don't let us step on tradition. Because I don't know the laws in this Ikpetumodu, but I would say that if kings that are incapacitated cannot be compelled to step down or replaced, then this, I'm not trying to encourage fraud, but I'm just trying to say that I think why they are doing this is because it's even jailed outside the country. If it's Nigeria that is jailed, they cannot be calling for his removal like this. You understand? And If a king is sick and cannot even talk, cannot even make decisions, cannot even preside over the state, his removal is not called for until he's dead.
Yeah, Victor, I think I have a different opinion to that because for someone that is sick, we understand is the natural cause. So, and we know that there can never be another king when the other king have not departed to the land beyond. So, but this case is a case of fraud. It's a case of robbery to me as a case of being a thief. And these are people, okay, what example is it giving to the youth or to the young ones of today in its community, in its local government, and Nigeria as a whole? So if we keep engaging or encouraging such act, then we should also tell the Nigerian police to stop arresting or stop sentencing somebody that stole a cow, that stole chicken, and that will be jailed for 15 years in Nigeria.
I'm not saying, sir, I'm not encouraging that. What I'm just saying is that before the king becomes a king, there are traditional rites that are done for the king to ascend the throne of his father. So that king is not even available for those rites now to be done to hand over to the next king. So what will happen to traditional rights, beliefs of the people of Ifako when a king is arrested abroad and no right is done at all to transcend or move into the next, move into another family? So what are they trying to say? Because there's a Yoruba that says, I will try to say it again, if a king does not die, another one does not.
Yes.
You understand? So if they want to, and another Yoruba that says they don't cut someone's head behind you. You can't, in my opinion, that's my opinion. You understand?
Well, for me, just like I told you earlier, that just on the Ifako radio, we try to balance this discussion, because as a king, number one, your duty is to keep the cultural value, the traditional cultural value of your community. Now, are we not saying that fraud is part of the cultural value of the Petumodu? And if the good courts in America was able to find the Oba wanting and not sentencing to 4 years imprisonment in a foreign land, I believe such king, when he lands in Nigeria, should also serve another 10 years in Nigeria. That is my solution, because as a leader with cultural, that ought to uphold our cultural values, most especially in the Southwest. In the Southwest, we respect cultural values, which lies in time of trust, hard working, loyalty, dedication, commitment, and of course, what do we call this one now? Okay, I'll talk about hard working. That is part of the, and respect, dignity and respect. So these are the cultural value of the Yoruba races. And not only, and you know, when we talk about Yoruba race, it's not only in Nigeria. Yoruba race spread across to Nigeria, to even a neighboring country, Cotonou, to Ghana, even to the Caribbean, the Brazil. We have the Brazilian, we have the Freetown in Ivory Coast over there, just in Africa there. So, and in Cuba, we have them over there in the Southern Americans. So the Yoruba culture. So what value is it, or what exemplary life is it giving to the Nigeria and to the Southwestern youth? So I think, for me, I'm not sentimental. I've been playing here. Our leaders need, whenever they have been found wanting, they should be brought to book.
Yeah, they should be brought to book, but not in his absence. When he arrives, when he gets back to Nigeria, then certain decisions can be taken.
Are you saying that the court in America, they are they? Are you saying that they did not get it right?
I'm not saying he did not get it right. I'm not saying that he committed before in the United States.
Why in Nigeria?
Huh?
Why in Nigeria?
Why in Nigeria?
Yes.
Yes. Now, when he come back to Nigeria, he should be brought to book. This will set a bad precedent.
It has set a bad precedent.
I don't know why this is set a bad precedent to our traditional values, because people can even do just maybe when let's say for example now, maybe a king travels. This is for example, and for one reason or the other, even not because of fraud, the person cannot come back. So what is the transition this that will be put in place to bring in another king? You understand? It's not that that king is dead or something. You understand? So what are the traditional rights that will be done in the king's absence to bring in another person? And I don't think that if a king is not dead, this man has been pronounced king over his people. It is just 4 years. A regent can be appointed for the time being, and when he comes back, he should face the law, and the constitutional rights should be done according to the rights of a Ikpetumodu, and the power should be transferred to another person. That is why I'm not saying it should be made when he comes back. I'm just saying that someone cannot be called a king in Ikpetumodu and be abroad, and the person they will now appoint another king. I don't think we can take any more.
Yeah, because our time is fast spent. So I believe that on the conclusion from my side on these cultural values and these we appeal to the on our very own Oni of Ife, who is the chairman. You know, maybe he's the chairman.
He's the co-chairman.
He's the co-chairman.
He's the co-chairman of the traditional rulers.
Our traditional ruler. So I believe that he needs to inform Nigeria what is the next step. And moreover, Ikpetumodu is also in Osun State, where the Oni of Ife is also is.
Yes.
So we need to hear from them. So and I believe that we have our first-class obas in the southwest. That is the Oni of Ife. The Allah for your is late now, so I don't think there's presently. I don't think we have any more at the moment. So we also have the Lake of Balan and other. I think we have. Is it the job Akure? I don't know. Maybe it's also part of the first class. So, but the first class of should do something about it, and they should give a communique in regard to this. So I think. At this junction, we may need to end the newspaper review for today. And tomorrow is another day from Ifako Radio. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a wonderful listener. Thank you for joining us. And we also appeal to you to visit us on every of our pages of the social media, on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the X, and of course TikTok. So we are available. Try and follow us. Kindly follow us on any of the social media, like and share with other people. I will look forward to join us tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be good and a pleasant day. So from me to you and Ifako Radio, will say have a wonderful day. My name remains Olani David.
Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Dede. We'll see you tomorrow.